welcome back to Beauty Bee. So today we're just doing a chatty get ready with me. It'll probably be labeled a tutorial if it turns out well. So at this point, you know better than I do. I wanted to do something sort of inspired by the new Naked it's Ultraviolet palette. I'm a little confused by the colors they selected for that palette. Maybe I'm just not very creative, but I don't see how these fairly warm toned, I think, neutrals would go with quite vibrant purples. So I wanted to try it out. I haven't seen any reviews on the palette yet, so this is not coming from a place of I've decided this is garbage. I'm actually curious. I'm interested, and I'd like to see how something similar would work out on me. I don't have the Naked Ultraviolet palette, so if that's what you're looking for, sorry. I'm going to be using some e.l.f. and Wet n Wild shadows that I do own. So I just put on sunscreen, and now I'm going to follow up with some eyeshadow primer. Do you see my nails? I had some really bright blue nail polish on, and I tried to remove it, and now my hands look absolute corpse nails going on. Okay, so I think that I'm actually going to set up my look with a little bit of purple first. I'm going to go in with this transition shade from my Wet n Wild palette. This is a matte, sort of mauvey purple. I'm going to put that on my transition area, which for me is my hood, both sides. I didn't do as good of a job of blending with the brush as I would have preferred, so I just went in with my finger and buffed out that edge a little bit. All right, well, we've got it set up at least. So now I'm going to go in with this true bronze shade. I think it looks pretty cool toned in the pan, but if I cover up those oranges, I think you can see that it's pretty warm, and it actually lanes quite warm on me, though I think that might just be that I'm pretty cool toned. So almost anything looks fairly warm on me. I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Oh, I got just a little bit under my eye. You see that? I will take that off later. And I'm going to dip into that again just to keep things even. Yeah, do you see? I think you can see on the pan that it's actually quite a bit warmer than it looks. So I'm actually pretty impressed with this so far. I mean, I don't think that my transition leans terribly purple, so that might be why it's working for me, but okay, I can see where you're going with this Urban Decay. Now here's where things might get a little iffy. I'm going to go into this shimmery deep purple. I'm just going to use this smudger brush. And I'm going to fill in my outer V. Let's see. I'm having a hard time getting that to really show up very well over the bronze, which I guess isn't that surprising. I actually like that. Kind of surprised by how much I like that, actually. Yeah, let's fill that in on the other side. Maybe we can smudge a little under the eye. That would be cute. Okay, so I need to blend this out, clearly. So I'm just going to wipe that crease brush off on the towel to get it really clean. Obviously, that's not a... Obviously, you can't just do this instead of, you know, cleaning your brushes once in a while, but... Isn't that pretty? I kind of love that. I doubted you, Urban Decay, but I think you did a good thing. Not sure I would want to do a warm and purple look every day, which is what I would want for a, what, $52 palette or something? But I see where you're coming from. I'm just taking more of that purple on the same smudger brush. I'm going to put a little bit under my eye. Okay, that turned out surprisingly well. I'm going to fill in my brows, do mascara, all that good stuff, and then we can figure out the cheeks and the lips. So there's my brow pencil. I don't know why that was so hard to find. It was sitting right in front of me. Okay. Does anyone else feel like you've heard weirdly little about that ultraviolet palette? I think I've seen 2 reviews come up, like in my suggested videos, but I haven't watched either of them yet. Like, a couple years ago, when Naked Heat came out, I thought that it was like all I heard about for weeks. And I mean, that was still at a point where sorry, don't know why I have a hard time talking as I'm doing my eyebrows. I thought women were supposed to be good multitaskers. Yeah, but I feel like when Naked Heat came out, it was all I heard about for about a week and a half. Like, now I think I've seen 2 reviews come up in my suggested videos for this Naked Ultraviolet. And I mean, I understand that there's more stuff coming out now, but there was a lot of stuff coming out when Naked Heat came out. That was only, what, 2 years ago? A year and a half ago? And now it's like Oh, yep. New Naked palette launch. Now let's talk about something else. I hate that. I really don't like how the beauty community now is only interested in new launches. It's like the hobby now isn't doing your makeup, it's buying makeup, which that's not sustainable for you. That's not sustainable, like, economically, but also for the world. Why are we creating so much plastic waste so we can buy slightly different versions of dust that we put on our eyes? That's ridiculous, right? And I know that the dust I put on my eyes today wasn't necessary. I didn't need it. I like it. And I try to keep things at a point where I can use up products. I mean, I do hit pan on some of the things I own, but I almost feel like I'm not a part of the beauty community because I don't have a new palette every week and a half, or I don't, I don't buy every new release or even really care to know about every new release. I'm just using my everyday blush. It's kind of pinky neutral. It's upsetting. And I mean, do you remember back in the day, like when people just used the e.l.f. Do you remember back in the day when people just used the MAC singles all the time? And I remember thinking it was just ridiculous that, I don't want to name names, particular influencer I watched at the time had like books upon books of these MAC shadows. I mean, she probably had a couple hundred MAC shadows. And I thought that was insane. Because I was like, I remember she had them divided up into like blues, browns, sort of golds. They all had their own palettes. I remember thinking those shades look the same. But you know what? Right now, that collection would look so reasonable to me. That's insane. It's only been a couple of years. But my idea of what's normal has changed so much. I guess it's been more than a couple of years. It's probably been 5 years. But still, that's insane. I'm gonna go in with this shade from Wet n Wild and use that as a highlight on this big fan brush. Just on my cheekbones and a little bit up this direction towards my brow. Yeah, I'm kind of disillusioned with it all, really. I just want it to be about liking doing your makeup or liking how it makes you look, or I know it's kind of like I feel like we're no longer allowed to say in the beauty community that you like makeup because it makes you look prettier. But I do. That's why I like it. I don't necessarily want to hide what I look like, but I like flattering my skin tone. I like bringing interest to my eyes. I do it a little bit for artistic expression. I mean, I wouldn't be wearing purple and bronze eyeshadow right now just to look pretty, but I want it to look pretty. I don't want to. My interest in makeup is not, I spend $200 on makeup and gotta catch them all. Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. ColourPop. I just just want to look nice. And I think this looks nice. So now that I've ranted for what? My camera says 15 minutes. I probably only ranted for 5, which is good because I'll probably rant for like 40 sometime. And then everyone will unsubscribe and I'll be very lonely. Oh, I'm done. Yeah, I'm gonna clean up this little bit of copper eyeshadow that I got under my eye before I take my photo, but you'll see what it looks like in the thumbnail. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know how you feel about this whole buying makeup versus using makeup dichotomy that seems to exist in the beauty community. And I hope I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye!